what's up, y'all? It's Treasur Necole, your favorite Scorpio, and you are tuned into another episode of Inside the Chess Podcast. Now, I don't even have to say anything right now because y'all see what's going on. Y'all see what's going on. This interview is gonna bring back the past, the present, the future. We just gonna touch on all time zones here. I got my homie, my girl, the queen of Ghetto Gospel,
Yes.
Johni Demeatri. Don't worry, we'll add some hand claps. Don't worry. So, yeah.
Right.
What's up, John?
Man, I appreciate you for having me. This is I've been waiting to get here. I know we had a little small talk off camera for you to know, like, now I'm keeping up. I'm watching the show, and I'm proud of you. I admire everything that you got going on. I think this is incredible, for real. And I had to say that on camera. I didn't want that to be said off camera at all.
Wow.
I want that to be known, for
incredible.
Sure. Yeah.
And I got so excited. I jumped so far ahead. Let me go back and say, chessmates, what y'all heard, what we opened up with was the theme song of Inside the Chess Podcast.
Fire.
And it is available on all distributing platforms.
It need to be. And
fire. The music video is on YouTube. So I like your theme song for Chocolate City too. And I feel like was that a song you specifically made for, and we'll explain what Chocolate City is. Was that a song that you made for the actual show itself, or was that something that it just blended with it? The energy just matched.
Yeah, it just matched.
Yeah.
It's actually the prelude. At Once Upon a Time, it was a prelude for a tape that I was working on. Still working on the tape. It's no longer the prelude, but it'll still be a part of it. I'll just, I do a shameless plug right quick. I'm working on a visual album.
Please.
Visual album. Shout out to 290 Mo. One thing that I've learned to enjoy in life is get on Mo nerves. I just love it. I know I get on his nerves, but outside of Chocolate City, shout out to him for that. He's helping me put together a visual album, and I'm not talking too much about it, but I've been talking about it because it's something that is brewing. You know what I mean? It's on the way, but it will be a part of that. It will be a part of that.
And it's a difference between, like you say, I ain't gonna talk about it too much, but it's a difference between putting it out in the universe and giving everybody the tea of what's really going on. So
yeah.
Feel us as artists, we have like a trauma with that where we are almost not scared, but kind of skeptical of saying things before we even start working on it, but we see them so clearly in our minds.
Yeah, we do.
And our minds are so powerful.
Yeah.
And we gonna get in, man, this is Inside the Chest, so y'all know we dealing with matters of the heart, but we going like this. We going from the mind to the mouth to the heart. All of that's gonna connect tonight.
Yeah.
And Johni, you here with us.
Down.
And I am like, it's so much, like I said, so much we got to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
But, of course, as you guys know, this episode, or as you don't know, this episode is called Don't Let Go. Yeah.
You called for that.
Yeah.
Give me that. You called for that.
Hey, this episode is called Don't Let Go. You already know where I'm going with it. Y'all know every episode that we do, we name it after R&B titles because I'm an R&B singer. I love R&B. We are, and of course, like I was saying off air to you as well, you are my first singer, my first musician, my first artist. Yes.
You know.
So it's only right that we get super deep. This is one of those episodes where artists, it might just be your favorite one. We have so many. All of them are my favorite, right? But I know that some of my episodes are geared to certain people at certain times, which is like the beauty of the show. I feel like, because anybody can come here and get what they need without the judgment, without the bias and all of that. So, man, just to start off, I named it Don't Let Go. It's an En Vogue classic.
Yeah.
Who knew that song, right, could be like perfect for like a sex scene, right? To set it off. You remember?
For sure. Oh, yes.
That's how I learned about the song in the first place. My young ass. That movie came out in when? When did that movie come out?
Jada and Blair Underwood. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's actually when he took the chain and he...
Top 5 sex scenes of all time, I think. And we're going to talk about
it. Was that necklace for me. He took it off his body and it was...
Well. And so, again, that's why tonight is going to be a perfect night to get into that. But I do know that, like you say, you are the queen of the ghetto gospel, right? When we think about gospel, we think about the R&B, the jazz, the blues, all that kind of intertwines. Like, where did that name come from? Queen of the ghetto gospel.
Believe it or not, it is self-given. You know, it's people out here that will claim that they gave it to me. You know what I mean? But I told them about it and they took it and ran with it. But just being an all-around church girl. You know what I mean? Just somebody from the church, grew up in church, baby. Went to choir rehearsal on Tuesday, Wednesday, Bible class Wednesday. Shoes, 3 services on Sunday sometimes. So, church girl, you know what I mean? That is in me, Somebody will look at this right now, look at us talking and be like, oh, she remind me of, you know what I mean? It's just something that's just, it comes out my pores now, you know? And, but as much as that is my upbringing and, was a part of my life, so was the streets. You know what I mean? And that's where the ghetto, really plays a part. And the streets sometimes can be a harder story to tell. You know what I mean? But that's, as much as my family and it was really my mother and my grandmother, that was really heavy in the church. And my mom, I thank God for my mom. She's still here. She'd kill me if she know I told y'all this, but she made 60 years old this year.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And a blessing to still have your mom at that age, I'm not going to tell my age, but a blessing to still have your mom, but she really introduced me to God and took me to church. And I've since then, learn to seek God for my own self and for the God in me. You know what I mean? And that's a spiritual journey that seems like it will be everlasting, but that's what I've been on, now. But I would have to credit my mom for even introducing me to the higher power and what that actually is. So she was the person that was in church, my grandmother, but when it comes to the rest of my family, they was in the streets for real.
That's how those kind of come.
It's like the ghetto gospel. When you hear my music, you hear that gospel. You know that I was in the choir. You know that I was
you had a solo
for sure. You know that, but you also know, man, she done probably seen some shit or been through some shit. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes the ghetto gospel so relatable. It really goes hand in hand with relatability, for sure.
And then just going into that, kind of correlating that with the title, right? Don't Let Go. You were saying that that when we hear you, we hear that church. That's something that you can't let go, right? That's something that you don't want to let go, because I feel like part of the thing that people feel outside of the sensual feeling, like when you hear the soul and the sexy thing and sexy lyrics or whatever it is that we're talking about at the moment, like you say, you can feel both air. I can definitely feel like it's almost like anointing.
Yeah.
It's really an anointing. You really carrying that anointing into a different genre, but that it doesn't stop your anointing. You know what I'm saying? It
adds to it. If you think about it, if you think about a person like Jesus, I say this all the time, Jesus wasn't in church. Jesus was in the street. He was in the streets.
He was
in the slums, trying to help the people that didn't know God. Everybody knows Yolanda Adams believes in Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that Kurt Franklin believes in God, but what about the people that don't?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you just gonna walk past them like they, you know what I mean, ain't lost or can't use guidance.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's who Christ is.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it's supposed to go hand in hand.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, again, like, I always gotta check in with my chest mates too when we get this deep, because it's like I don't think they seen us on camera in a while, first of all, together in a while. Let's start there. We went 6 feet deep right when we went in, but they ain't seen us on camera in a while. So, and it feels like even what we're doing right now, this is anointed. This is beyond a podcast. This is a conversation.
They just getting They're getting a taste of who we are.
Yeah. So,
you know,
it's powerful. But chestmates, I do want to know what y'all hearing this, what y'all learning this about us and us individually and what we have in common, right?
For sure.
I want to ask them, like, what are some things y'all feel like, you know, you can't let go? Like, it's a part of you. You know that no matter what phase it is you are in your life, that's probably going to stick with you, you know, because I feel the same way. Because I'm also a preacher's kid. My dad was a preacher for 15 years before he got sick, right? And even before that, he was playing the piano, and that's where I learned to play the drums in the church and things like that.
Yeah.
So when I sing my music and people hear my music, it's like, even like if somebody that's from the church hears my music, they still connect with it in a certain way. And it's not always, and I know that's not always about the lyrics, because sometimes those lyrics can be shocking depending on whose ears they're in. Not saying that we saying a bunch of crazy shit, but some people just don't choose to expose themselves to other experiences, you know, kind of like that. So I say that to say, like, you know, that's also, I feel you on that. Like, that's part of me. Like, people used to say to me early in the game that I got church runs in my R&B songs.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and then how could you not, though? How could you not?
It's like, they the coldest runs. Yes. What's the problem? I thought this is a good thing. Like, but it was almost like, it was kind of like, I remember somebody even saying to me too, don't make it too churchy. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is what it is.
That's something that I read that Missy Elliott said that when she was like a super, and not was, but in her prime of being like this super pioneer in female R&B, she was saying that it kind of faded out because people didn't want to hear, you know, like women singing that hard. You know, like, why you ain't got to do all that? You ain't got to do too much. But it's like, man, that's the God in me. Clearly.
Y'all see what's going on.
Clearly. For God so loved the world. That's what I think Ghetto Gospel is. You know what I mean? That scripture right there. Like, for God so loved the world. That's ghetto and that's gospel.
Yeah.
Why are we made to hate the world when God loved them? And then why does the world hate God when God loved? You know what I mean? God created this. So I can't make my regular music so churchy, which means like you don't want me to use my God-given talent when God gave it to me to give to you.
Quit. Go ahead. Hey, listen, y'all are inside the chest more than you ever been. Hey, we inside the soul with the queen of the Ghetto Gospel.
Got to.
And this is usually the time where I take a commercial break, but I don't even want to do that yet because I feel like y'all gotta know a little more, because we not just on this couch from a simple DM or from a simple, like, we got history.
For sure we do.
We got history.
For sure.
Man, I know when they see us together, you know, we're going to always carry that. You know how if you were to see Free and AJ, you're going to always think about 106.
Yeah.
No matter what they doing, they could be doing they shit, doing what they doing. But you're gonna always see 106 in Park, and I've accepted that, and I understand that. So I know the people are seeing us here, and they're assuming, that there is a elephant, elephant in the room, right? If you will.
If you will.
And that elephant, we label that elephant as Urban Grind TV. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about urban grind, that was something that we came into, and we made it what it was together, right?
Definitely did.
But I want to know, even before that, what led you to the urban grind situation, and what led you out?
I think I can't remember what actually led me there. It's been, like a couple years for sure, but I want to say like maybe somebody told me about it and told me to reach out in regards to doing like some legal stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how I got started, and then I went up there for a couple, like got to know, everybody up there from that, and did a couple of radio interviews, found out it was a TV and a radio station, did a couple of radio interviews, and then I was asked to host. And for a while, I was like, nah, that ain't, that I ain't on that, you know. But then I think y'all suckered me into it one day. I think I was called for an interview or something like that, and somebody didn't come. Y'all like, come on, Johnny.
Oh, okay.
Do it. And it was me, you, and Stacks, I think.
Okay.
Or me, you, Ocho, and Stacks.
Oh,
Shout out to Ocho, Mexico.
OG squad.
Yeah, right. And then since then, like the rest is history. Mm-hmm. Just became like a regular on the show, to where it's like we both was Shaq and Kobe and that motherfucker. No, you know what I'm saying? Like for real. We were, and it was great. That was a great time to actually shine with you like that. Like for real, we go back. We could take it back years, but sometimes, like things just, don't last forever. Mm-hmm. Sometimes things just, it's time for shit to come to an end, for you to be who you are supposed to be. And I heard you say what you said off camera, like if I did not discontinue this, I would not be where I am right now. Facts. So sometimes it takes a discontinuation in order to move forward, because if I didn't discontinue, it's like, okay, I would still be here. But it's like, I'm supposed to be here as me. I'm here. And I'm thriving. Don't get me wrong. I'm that bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I'm up here. We done did something. But it's like I had to let this go.
Boom.
Hey. I had to let this go in order to be here. You know what I mean? And one thing I can't let go of is me.
Yeah.
That's one thing I cannot let go of. So if I gotta be here, then I gotta be here. Which means if this is something that I gotta let go of, it's like, hey, no bad blood, no love lost, Hey, it is what it is. I ain't gonna say everything is peaches and cream. Right. You know what I mean? Okay. Come on, man. We gotta give some love to this.
Hey.
We gotta give some love to
maybe, because by the time this come out, he might be in his...
I ain't now, if he did some shit, he did some shit. But the same type of lick as R. Kelly. Like, we gotta show Kel some love.
Come on.
We gotta show Kel some love because of who he is in this music game. Now, we can always crack on the motherfucker. That's all that is, baby. Always crack on the nigga, but...
I'm in tears.
When it comes down to it, we can't take away the gifts of these people. You know what I mean? Like, man, you done really created some shit in the Black community, Like a mogul in the Black community for both of these guys. So That was all
And then
about that.
yeah, but going back to what you were saying about letting go, like even on this episode is called "Don't Let Go, Chessmates." We are always talking about letting go of some things too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, yeah, some things is cool to hold on to, but some things we have to. In order for us to reach our fullest potential, we have to let go of certain things.
Have to.
But we also have to keep certain things, like never letting go of that spiritual foundation from being in the church. Like,
for sure.
I feel like we use that in our decision making of, should I stay in this moment if my spirit don't feel right in this moment? And I think on one of the 290 Mo interviews that I did, where he asked me about UG, I was talking about just like the spirit not feeling right. You know, my spirit has to align with this. Otherwise, I have to do it for me. It ain't even about anymore. You know, so
I love how you put that when you say the spirit just not feeling right. And sometimes the spirit cannot feel right, and you could, I almost want to say, disobey that spirit and
ignore it
in loyalty, you know, in what you presume is loyalty. You know what I mean? That loyalty can be stupidity when you really think about it. But what you presume is loyalty can be off with the spirit.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna ignore this because now these my people and this and this and this. And then that spirit will hit those people. And then you can't ignore that shit.
That's right in your face. That's right in your face.
You cannot ignore that shit, period.
But,
you know? So, all in all, it's like sometimes you just gotta follow your heart, follow your mind. You said we going from here, right?
Oh, yeah.
You gotta follow all that shit.
All of it.
And if it means let go, give it back. For real.
Believe what you see. Believe all this. Everything connected here. And, wow. Outside of that, we created, you know, Girl Talk, where we, as we put it, we shine. We shine in that, bringing women together and showing that women can get together and have conversation without it being altercation.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely don't even do that in my life off camera. You know, I don't even, if there's an altercation there, and it's not because of any kind of fear, it's just, it has to be worth it. You know, I'll fight a battle, but it has to be worth it. I'll definitely pick them too. You know? So, outside of that, we did one ghetto night.
Yes.
I did your birthday party.
Yeah.
And then we made a full circle, and you did Chocolate City Podcast.
Yes.
So how'd that come about, man?
All of that.
This is work of a Pisces, right?
Yes.
Am I right?
Pisces.
Water sign.
Water sign.
Oh yeah.
I think even to draw into being a water sign, we all noticed the moon coming in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, it's a full moon. It's a full moon. You know. But I think that draws back into the God in me. And that's not the God that I was raised upon. That's the God in me that I'm discovering. This God is not, you know, above, but it's within. It's the God within. You know what I mean? Thank you, Lord, to the God Almighty. Yeah. But God Almighty is within also. And that's the God that I'm getting to know and learning to follow. It's like, okay, if I'm going to follow the Almighty, I have to follow what He placed in me. You know, and when we talk about those things from Urban Grind, from One Ghetto Night, from Birthday, you know what I mean, from Chocolate City, it's like, okay, follow what's in you. Follow your heart. Develop it. You know? And that's why you got to search your soul. You got to get to know who you really are. You know what I mean? And it's not just telling yourself who you are. Sometimes it's listening to yourself. Sometimes it's really listening to yourself and not allowing one part of you to try to control all of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you allow that, you'll cut off the flow. You know, so when this part that you're fighting in you is coming about, it's like once that bitch comes out, she's going to be out of control because you've neglected this part of you. So that's one thing that I'm learning about the God in me is like, accept all of it. All of this is meant to protect you. All of this is meant for your good. All of this is meant for your use. Use it. Learn how to use it. And that means following the me that I put in you.
And so is that what led you to Chocolate City?
For sure.
How did that name even come about?
So I'm a big Martin Lawrence fan. Die-hard Martin Lawrence fan.
Yeah.
Love Martin Lawrence.
Greatest show of all time. One of the greatest shows of all time.
Yes. But even outside of the show, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Ooh. In that movie, the club that he managed or worked for
with Bobby
was named Chocolate
City. I love it.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, can I get in Chocolate City? I'm trying to figure out if I can even get in. You feel me?
You definitely can get in.
You feel me? So,
hey, and let me tell you something. That episode is, I'm already planning that. The wheels is churning in my mind.
Well, you know, I've been keeping it PG on Inside the Chest, but you know, it goes wherever the guests go.
Come on.
It goes wherever the guests go. So, but before we go there, y'all know we gotta take a break. When we come back, we're gonna play a little game. We'll play a little game.
Oh, shit.
On Inside the Chest, man, Johni Demeatri. Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Treasur Necole, your favorite Scorpio, and we are back on Inside the Chest podcast. Listen, if y'all just tuning in, I have the queen of Ghetto Gospel, Johni Demeatri, in the building with me.
Yes.
And like I said, man, this is going to be a prolific episode. I got to use the word prolific because we done already, like you say, we done scratched the surface.
Yeah. I'm having a great time. Great time.
And then, you know, even during these commercials, man, I want you to send me your music video snippets. We want to play your commercials
for sure
throughout the, you know,
for sure.
So
yeah, let's definitely talk about that.
So yeah. Like I always tell y'all, this show isn't just about me. Like, you know, it's not a self-centered situation trying to be like, oh yeah, woo. I'm gonna definitely do what's smart and what makes sense, but I also want the people that I'm connected with and who's made an impact on me and feel like family, man. I want to put it all on there, you know. You know. So we're gonna play this game, right? This game, I have all my guests play, man. But it's an icebreaker, just for the audience to get to know us a little better outside of us being, you know, smooth and always having the right answer. You know, we can't help it though. It's just because we quick.
It's
man.
that water, man. We flow.
We flow.
Water flows.
Yeah. So this game is called Trash or Treasure. Trash or Treasure. Pretty much the concept of the game is real simple. I just named 3 things. It could range from something as random as ice cream to something as 3-way relationships, you know, and you say if you trash, meaning no, I ain't fucking with it, I ain't really messing with it, or you treasure it, like I fuck with that,
Okay. So alright. So it's just all opinion.
Yeah. Okay. It ain't no right answer. Whatever you think. Okay, so my first one is, you know, since you in Chocolate City, you know, and I done seen the first episode of Chocolate City, and y'all started off pretty hot, pretty spicy. Shout out to Treasur Necole, man, another music pioneer in the city, you know what I'm saying, doing the thing with the podcasting.
Yeah. For sure.
chocolate covered strawberries though. You feel me? Type shit.
Treasure.
You
Treasure.
treasure them?
Treasure.
Hey, I think everybody gonna treasure the chocolate. Unless you allergic to chocolate or strawberries, you gonna treasure that, right?
Yeah, treasure.
Man, because I don't see. Hey, in Chocolate City, I'm assuming the conversation is crazy.
Man, it goes there.
Yeah.
It goes there. And it's all off of following your home.
Yeah, you're right.
Like you say, hey, go ahead, spill it
Inside
out
the chest, inside the chest, from under the dress. You know what I'm saying? Type like R&B, type. Anyway, we're gonna reel it back in. So we was talking. We R&B heads, we gospel heads. We know the music. We know the people that come from the music. That the Fantasias, the R. Kellys, and all that, right? So I want to know, trash or treasure, R. Kelly.
Treasure.
You want treasure R. Kelly?
Treasure.
Yeah.
Treasure. Sometimes we make trash decisions. But that don't change the treasure.
That might go viral.
Treasure.
Woo! Okay. Hey, I know it's gonna be. I have all kinds of listeners. It's gonna be different opinions. Let me tell you something. When it comes to being human and making human mistakes outside of what you say on a beat, I just feel like you have to be at a certain emotional intelligence to separate the two. Because if I always say, what if I didn't listen to somebody who didn't do anything wrong? Who would I listen to? I wouldn't even be listening to myself.
Yeah.
I ain't listening to no damn body. I ain't listening to no music. So it's like, well, hell, I might as well just, because one thing about me, I love Michael Jackson. I got Michael Jackson posters in my room. Yes, at 30, y'all, it's there.
For sure.
It's there. I gotta see Mike.
Mike is one of the ones.
So, but they villainized him on his way out. You know what I'm saying? Just with everything, but that doesn't stamp him from being. And I'm going away from the game. That doesn't stamp him from being the greatest. And I know that's kind of the feeling that people get when they think about R. Kelly, even current for the kids now, the Chris Brown. So
yeah.
It's like that.
Trials and tribulations with all of them, but it's like, man, can you take it away from you? You can't take the God out of it. No matter the terrible decisions we all are guilty of making. You know what I mean? We can call that sin. You know what I mean? We all do that. But ain't nobody above it, and that does not deplete the God in us. So stop using that to deplete the God in somebody else and just pray for them. Because ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying, without sin, cast the first stone.
And man, I think you might be the first guest I have that's gonna say treasure all three in a row. I don't know. I'm just predicting it.
Let's see.
Predicting it, but us being church girls, knowing about the church, things like that, and really going behind the scenes of the church and things like that, or when we think about like the church lock-ins, or we think about you trash or you treasure, and then like what's your damn, let me go ahead, man. Dang, that's crazy.
The church lock-ins, I'm gonna go ahead and treasure.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say treasure.
No treasure, see.
Man, I think it just gave kids innocent fun. You know what I mean? It's like a sleepover, pretty much. And it's like, I think a sleepover for children is supposed to be the same wherever you go. You know what I mean? So whether I'm at my mama house, my grandma house, my daddy house, my uncle house, all it needs to be the same. It needs to be for children, so I just think that the church lock-ins, they were something for children. We was bad as hell. I wasn't bad though. I wasn't
either. I really was, but I saw everything. I knew about everything.
Sometimes I got in trouble, but I was not bad. It was not me.
Exactly.
It was not me, but it was like a sleep. It was something for children. So Yeah, I'm gonna go on.
Do you ever see yourself going back just outside of the game? Do you ever see yourself going back into the church? When you say you can't let go of the church, do you ever see yourself, when you think about a full circle, do you see yourself full circling back and being like a kids choir teacher or like a youth pastor or something like that? Do you see that?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not somebody that's super involved in the church as I used to be, because like I said, I'm on a journey of discovering the God in me. But if God leads me to, like saying, hey, well, come here and tell these people what I told you, then yeah, I do that. For sure I would do that. You know what I mean? Or even if it just means, like being somebody, using my gift, I sing. If the church called me tomorrow, like, okay, shorty, look, I need you to come sing on Sunday, or I need you to do this on Sunday. Of course. Yeah. You ain't got to ask me for one time. Yes, I'll do it. So I feel like I am the church. I feel like that's what God created us to be. Like, I represent, I don't have to go back into it. Of course, you know what I mean? We go to church, you know what I mean? But even if I never walked back in, I would still represent. That's how much of it is in me. You know what I'm saying? So, of course.
And when you go into the R&B settings, like when you go into the secular settings, do you feel different? Do you feel more protected because you have that gene, that God gene, or is it something that you feel like makes you more vulnerable because it's like walking in fire? It's like it ain't it. Or sometimes you walking in a room of wolves. You don't really know. You don't know what you walking into sometimes. But
both. Yeah. Fire ain't always gotta burn. You saw that with the Hebrew boys, you know what I'm saying? And when it come down to a wolf, you could probably train them. So I'm confident, you know what I mean, but I'm also careful. I definitely always lead with the God in me and lead with sincerity, and sometimes that comes with being vulnerable. And being comfortable with being vulnerable. You know what I mean? And just really being open and really being honest. Because it's like it's the real you. And if you really gonna be confident, you gotta be confident in this person. Not this person that is like, oh yeah, I'm like this, and it's like I'm like this here. This is me. Yeah. But I'm also careful with me. You know what I mean? And that goes back once again into searching my own soul and getting to know myself, so I know how to be careful with it. But I feel like God protects me in that no matter where I am. You know what I mean? No matter, sometimes you can get more love in the club than you get in church. You can feel more of the God in you. Man, I went to the Black Girl Art Show this past weekend, and this girl was incredible. And she sang gospel, she sang pop, country, R&B, everything. And I had to give her a hug. When I hugged her, she cried. Like, girl, you just gonna make me cry. You gonna make me cry. And I'm like, man, you gonna make me cry. You this for real. Incredible, you know what I mean? And I feel like that is church. What 2 or 3 agree in my name, baby, you blessed. And it was on a Sunday. You know what I mean? So we didn't necessarily have to step foot into the tabernacle because it's in us. And that's what I mean about being that no matter what, God gets the glory. That's what church is. Church is worship. We worshiped in it. Hands was raised to the Lord. We know how to worship. That's when you become the church. For real, but I don't want to preach.
Hey, look, this is what's inside the chest. This is what's inside the heart. Like, sometimes we don't get a chance to get that out. You don't have, sometimes you're not around a like-minded, somebody who's, we've had different journeys, but they're one and the same. We both came from the church, and then we started to do our own thing in our own genre, and then it leads us to radio, and now we back at the podcast. that all that stuff is not by accident. That was already written. He already knew. We didn't, you know. So, they gonna know what's up. They know what's up when they put us two together, man. You know, it's always gonna be something. But with that, with us talking about the music and the spirituality and things, you know, we always gotta go into. We touched on it a little bit, you know, the zodiac, you know, with us being water signs. Also with being in the industry and having that God gene and being in the industry, but you know, with that gene, we attract a lot of different energies. We not only attract energies that's like us, we attract energies that's not like us, or sometimes. And just because they're not like us don't mean they're bad for us, but sometimes we may attract the energy that we may also be attracted to. Right? So how do you deal with moments like that where, you know, you in the set, and I always say, man, I don't know if this some Scorpio shit or whatever, but I always say, just because if I'm in a relationship, that doesn't take away my sight. That doesn't take away my...
that's all some playing shit to say right there. It does not take away my sight.
All my senses are still there. And so when we talk about just like the attractions that we have inside the industry, and even if we're in a committed relationship or not, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the approach of so many? Because there is access there.
Yeah.
How do you let go of your ego enough to say, I'm good on that, I got this? Or even if you're single, I'm good on that because I know what I'm worth. Of course I could get it because I'm whoever I am. I know I can. But what makes you just choose the latter? If you do choose the latter.
I choose the latter, baby. I choose the latter. Choose the ladder.
I'm climbing it.
But I didn't always choose the ladder. And I think it's once again accepting that part of self, you know, experience.
Yeah.
You gain a sense of experience that you want. You know, that don't mean that you got to go out and be a hoe, you know what I mean, and do all of the wrong things, but it's a part of your development of a person that requires experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in order to walk, you're going to have to fall. You're going to have, you're going to have to experience all of these things. You're going to have to do it. Yeah. In order to become an expert at running, you're going to have to learn how to walk.
Right.
You know, so I feel like that's a part of the developmental stage. In order to become an expert at commitment or an expert at whatever, you have to expect, at least most people. I can't speak for all. I'll just even speak for myself. I ain't even gonna speak for most. In order to become this expert at commitment and what I am, I had to go through what I went through. You know what I mean? I made some terrible decisions. You know what I mean? But in those terrible decisions, sometimes they weren't always mistakes. You know what I mean? And in those terrible decisions that I made that were not mistakes, showed me that I wasn't ready for what, you know, I have now, you know, and I learned to stop calling them mistakes. It's like, no, that wasn't, you did that on purpose.
You wanted to do that.
Now, the first time you did it and it was a mistake, it's like, okay, well, I could get away with this being a mistake. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I just keep making this same mistake. You keep making a terrible decision, sweetheart. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a sense of maturity that only comes from experience. You know, it only comes from experience. So that's why I say, like, yeah, you can choose the latter, you know, but sometimes you gotta experience the upper. You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because I think about these things, and it's like, how much of this do you put in your music when you didn't choose the ladder? Do you put those experiences inside of your music? When somebody goes to your music, can they know your life story? Because I know, shameless plug right here, my album that I'm dropping this fall called Girl's Best Friend. It's literally my navigation through the experiences of just different situations, right? And so I always wondered, do all of us artists do that? Do we all pull from our lives? Or as artists, are we so private, we just pulling from maybe other people's lives, things that we see or things that we want to feel or whatever, the just our creativity. Like with you, do you talk about those times when you didn't choose the ladder, where you was not letting go of that ego and you was,
I think I pull from both. Like I said, my whole thing with Ghetto Gospel is relatability, being a relatable person. So I do think I pull from. Well, I won't even think. I know that I pull from the world. You know what I mean? For God so loved the world. But yes, of course, I have to let it out. You can't, once again, neglect that part of yourself to where you pulling so much from the world. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to listen to me. Like, look at this. Got to write about this. It's like, no, this is, pretty soon you're going to be crying it out. You know what I mean?
You got to say
it's going to be coming out in tears if you don't, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I say both.
Whew. Man, that was the smoothest way to answer the question of how do you simply navigate your monogamy inside of this music industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the more that we do as artists, it's one thing. Even if we're not artists, you have issues with not us. Just generally speaking, you have
not me, baby,
with your faithfulness and your and things like that. Even if you're not in the public eye, as we are, even if you're not doing the music videos and the TV shows and the podcast, if you just I'm not calling it a regular person, but if you're doing something else outside of the public eye, you still have those questions and doubts of your partner or whatever, whoever it is that you entertain, like what you're doing. So it's like 20 times the thing when you're in front of 200 people. 3 days out the week or whatever case may be. You're like, dang, okay.
And on top of that, it's like no matter how private you are, you got to be a part of the public. There's no way around it in life. You have to be a part of the public.
So you saying you didn't let go of the church, but you definitely let go of the multiple people lifestyle.
Yeah. I stopped juggling. When it comes down to that, right? Just be a part of the juggle, or just casually dating. You know what I mean? I wasn't necessarily a sleep arounder though.
No, I feel
like when it come down to that, but just having options. I have my options.
Yeah,
I have my options, but you know how some women could have stories about like, man, I was doing dick. I was doing.
Yeah, right.
I don't really have those cool stories.
Right.
About the things that you've done and stuff like. For real, we
but just entertaining that dialogue, it can get dangerous.
Right.
That dialogue can turn into action, depending on how far I go or whatever the case may be.
Man, that was it for me. Like major dialogue and major, just juggling and options, major options. But I feel like, and like I said, in maturity, I learned to let that go, like in peace too, like cause that shit I started in my like mid to late 20s. I started dating women, just randomly. I had cut my hair in my very, very early 20s. I think I was 20, and people used to be like, you go both ways. I always been like a tomboy, I guess, but I was raised to like date men. Like, that's what you do. You have, men, and I had options.
Hey.
I had options, but it was just, I don't know, like something in me one day was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try that. People used to always ask me, was I high? I didn't smoke a lick. Did not smoke a lick. People always ask me, was I high? Like, did you smoke weed? Like, you so motherfucking cool, But I thought weed was bad. And once I learned about it, like, no, it ain't bad. I was like, oh, okay, this could actually make you better in life. It ain't gonna kill you. It ain't gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna smoke me a little weed.
Right.
And that's the same thing that, in dating a woman, I learned, like, okay, well, this ain't necessarily what they make it out to be. It's what God puts on your heart. You know what I mean? If this is where you find love, would you rather find love here for the rest of your life, or continue to struggle with something that the world is telling you to do? When it's like, nah, I can feel like us loving each other. You know what I mean? But I took a stab at it. You know what I mean? And I actually enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, I can see this. And I began to juggle. And it
was there a point where your options was both sexes at the same time? Because you wasn't letting go of those things?
Probably for a small period of time. Probably for a small period of time, yeah.
For the love of John.
for a small period of time, yeah. But then it became like the women kind of took over, and I would say that's when it got a little bit more dangerous. You know what I mean? With all of this like feminine energy and it being so powerful. You know what I mean? It got a little day, and I think that's where the maturity came in. You know what I mean? When actually understands, like, okay, well, you can go through this to get the experience. Now it's time for you to mature. And I think in trying to be that type of person where I was immature in what I'm supposed to be maturing now, like that's where it's like, okay, this is uncomfortable. Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And then, then came Bree. And we didn't had our didn't had our time.
Yeah.
We didn't had our times, but
like any regular human being.
Yeah. She stuck with me through those times. Stuck with me through times where it's like you could have just dipped off on some shit that we were going through in the past, or I was a part of in the past. You know what I mean? That the circle, you know what I mean? It's like,
yes, ma'am.
It's like, she could have definitely like dipped out, but immaturity, she stayed. In maturity, it's like, okay, I recognize this is somebody that would have my back. And I don't need to treat this in any kind of way. And it was probably people like that in my past that I wasn't mature enough, But now I got another chance. Let me do the right thing with this. For real.
Man, John. Hey, this shit goes so deep. For real. Like, when I talk about the episodes on Inside the Chest, I don't have a certain expectation of what it's going to be when my guests come, but I already know that it's going to go deep because, like we said, we attract those like energies, and when we come together, it's no matter what we talk about, no matter what we say, we know you're going to feel it, right? So when we come back, let y'all go to the bathroom, let y'all get a drink of water, you know what I'm saying? When we come back, man, we going to touch just right back on the R&B title, Don't Let Go. We gonna get into more of our history in the music and things like that, and what I know can be coming up for us. And man, I'm just excited. And I do got one more little twist at the end.
Oh,
a little twist. So So yeah, we'll be right back, y'all. Inside the Chest. Chessmates, if you want to hear your song in the background as we're holding this conversation, or if you have any content that you want to run as a promotional ad, I would love to collaborate in that way. You guys email me your work, whether it is your beats, your commercial, or whatever it is that you're doing, because I know if we collaborate in that way, that's going to really make the word spread, right? Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Treasur Necole, your favorite Scorpio, and we are back. We are back again. Y'all already know we show the music during the commercials. We show the exclusive content that's coming up and everything that we doing over here in the house of 290 Mo. You know what I'm saying? You remember before you got up and sang your solo, you had to give honor to the pastor and the first lady. That's how I always feel.
Ministers on the roster.
And you forgot a name, that's your ass, man. You hear me? So it's crazy, and we take that with us, man. When we get into those situations, we just show that gratitude, because sometimes that's what the people need. Ain't nobody. It's mind blowing how far a thank you goes, how far a I appreciate you goes. You know, how far a just showing somebody you care about, just a token of love or whatever you express in that way. So, man, we always want to do that here, man. So y'all know where we at, 290 Mo podcast. But just going back on our history, in radio, in music, man, we did a collaboration, still in the vault. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what, I
want to
like,
talk to you about that too.
And it's different now, you know, and it's crazy because a lot of our songs that we have in the vault, like when I asked you off camera about your theme song for Chocolate City, and you said it was a song that just blended. It's like we have those songs that we recorded 2-3 years ago. And I know for me, let me back up. We have those songs that we create 2-3 years ago, and they still resonate with a situation that we have going on now. We can still use it. We as artists, that's another traumatic thing we got. Just because we recorded a song 3-4 years ago, we can't use it when Adele, someone like you, was recorded 6 years before she put it out. You look at some of the greatest songs of their generation, and it's like these songs have been recorded. This is something they've been felt. This is something that they've already went through, and they're just now comfortable sharing it with us, with whatever the reason may be. So that goes back to the song that we have in the vault. Yeah. Right? That we're not letting go of, man. That song is still so... It's so much. It's so many levels to that song. That song is called I Like It. We could put it out there. Yeah. They know. They gonna see it.
I was actually just talking to my girl about this today. About this song. And just how like dope of a song and just versatile, you know, like just how you just said, you know,
for the universe.
It's so many levels to it. It's just so versatile. You can take it wherever, and it's a feel good song. You know, it's so light. It's so freaking light to where it makes you feel.
We might have to preview that on. We have to get on a little preview. We'll see. It depends on. I know.
I do some.
Depends on the episode come out. Yeah, we got it.
But I think it's special. How you say that anointing is on it. It's on it. It's on it for sure.
And shout out to Roll, man.
Shout out to Roll. Shout
out to Roll.
Talk to him.
We gotta hit his line. We gotta hit the group message back up. We gotta create a new one. Figure it out. Roll, man. I'm sure he's creating and doing his thing. But just going back to the collaborations and the songs, with your new songs coming up, what can we learn about that? Like, is that, will those be your current experiences or most of your past experiences? Is this something that you let go of already, or you haven't let go of it?
Not at all. You know what I mean? How you say someone like you came out 6 years later.
Yeah.
You know, this is something damn near similar. Shit, very similar. You know, with a lot of the music that's a part of it, but it's just music that has been so close to me. You know, some of them are my experiences. Some of them are from the world, like I said, but it's something special that feel like as an artist, sometimes we could just be so focused on like, man, I gotta stay relevant, I gotta do this, I gotta drop this, I gotta drop this, I gotta do this, got this content, and then all of it just be shit, when sometimes we need to commit to what we doing. And it's like, yeah, you could be committed to trying to make it, but it's like, are you prepared to make it? Like, is this prepared for what you want this, but it's like, have you even prepared it? You just putting it out, So with what I'm doing now, I wanted to be prepared to be released and not just on anything where it gets lost, but where it makes an impact. This is going to make an impact. I thank God glory be to God for the impact that I have made. I know I'm not just anybody, for sure, but I want this to make the impact that it's supposed to make in this music. I want it to reach the people that it's supposed to, and I know it's not a small number of people that it's supposed to reach. I know it's a grand amount of people in this world that this music right here can touch.
Yeah.
I know that this music can touch so many hearts.
Yeah, definitely.
I've prepared it to touch the hearts of God's people. God don't just got a little amount of people, so I want it to reach the people that it's supposed to, and that's why I can't just treat it like man, I gotta put this out, I gotta do that, I gotta prepare. I gotta prepare for these people.
Because once it's out, ain't no not putting it out. It's out there. And I used to have that bad too. I would be so impulsive and so emotional with my music where I would put something up, it would be up forever, and I would be like, no, I don't mess with that, and I take it down. They'd be like, damn, what happened to it? And it's like there was an audience for that, but that was that immaturity from not really knowing. And it's like some of that and even when we look at social media and we feel like we can't post this because it's old, and it'd be like a month old, it'd be something you did a month ago or 2 weeks ago. It's like, yo, this is my page, this is what it's like, it's so much like we have to let go. This episode ended up being about more so let go and not let go. But that's cool though. We have to let go of just that stereotype of, okay, I gotta impress 1 billion people in this phone. Like I'm deleting the picture because it got 9 likes, so instead of 90 likes, and it's like, but it's a great picture. I know I feel good. That's why I posted it. Like, but because I didn't get the validation didn't match my expectation, right? And I didn't know how powerful I was for a long time. I knew it was there. I knew I was different. I knew it was everything, but I was so drowned in opinion of others and all of that. So, especially with the decisions I made from what they would call leaving the church, which you never do, and I never did.
Right, yeah.
But and doing your own thing, and it's like they demonize you for finding your individuality, right? And so, but you get past that. The more you learn about God, the less you care about what the people think.
For sure.
And so that's the secret ingredient, chessmates. Dang, I ain't tapped in with y'all for a minute. That's the secret ingredient to let go of that invisible expectation of what people want on the planet. You got to get closer to the higher power to know to know your higher power. That's the only way you're going to unlock that love. That's like that. That's it. And so we show that secret ingredient in our music, in our conversation, in what we doing now, in us just talking now. It's going from here to here. It's so powerful.
From here to here to here.
Yeah, it's like, from all that. Y'all we're going to do a TikTok or something. We're going to make a dance or something with that. But with that being said, man, with us coming to the end of the episode, I do got one more little twist that I promise you.
Oh, my Lord.
With this episode being called Don't Let Go, I want you to finish this sentence, man. And it's of course it's gonna have the title of the episode in there. So I can't let go of what
Myself.
I need to let go of what
Maybe
put it out there so you can defeat it.
what's the opposite of discipline?
I need to let go of. That's like
Procrastination.
Okay, that is a spirit. Procrastination definitely is like a spirit. You just let go of procrastination.
I don't know if procrastination is the right word, but we'll use procrastination.
But that's a big one though.
Yeah.
Because we'll wait, and what are we waiting on?
Yeah.
We're waiting on. So it's like it's a mind fuck. Okay, so you can't let go of yourself. You need to let go of that procrastination spirit, right? And I never want to let go of who?
Bring the king.
Hey. And do you know if I had $1 million, I would have won it on the bench. Shout it for real. So shout out to Treasur Necole once again. Hey, listen, Johni, I appreciate you for coming out.
Man, I appreciate you. This was wonderful.
This was a vibe. This was attracting the tribe. It's us together. Like you say, it's Shaq and Kobe, man. We've really been in this shit, doing this shit on stage. We've shared a stage. We've shared being on air. It's really a beautiful relationship that I never want to let go of, man. Straight up. So, man, the queen of Ghetto Gospel. Chill with your favorite Scorpio. Hey, we got it done, and we wasn't even bad. We ain't act bad at all.
We didn't.
We really gave y'all some different kind of juice. Like it could have went a whole nother way.
What I love most, she got so much soul. There's so much soul.
Yeah, but we ain't choose violence today. Y'all definitely got the better part of our hearts, so to say. And man, y'all already know. This is Inside the Chess Podcast. I'm Treasur Necole, featuring Johni Demeatri in the building once again. Thank you, Queen. Man, y'all catch us next time. We in the building. Y'all gonna see me on Chocolate City. Next time you see us
very soon.
They gonna let a sister up in Chocolate City, and we gonna see what happened when the vanilla get up in there. See what that little swirl out.
See, I think we already prepared to act.
Hey. That might be a little. If y'all looking for more spicy, y'all might have to visit Chocolate City. This Inside the Chest. It's a little more spiritual than your regular podcast. We get in there, but. A lot of things that I learned, and then I'm gonna cut out, like, you don't have, because one thing I learned how to do is to not necessarily hide who I am, because I never hide who I am, but I know when to bring certain parts of me out and when not to. I know if I'm in an arena where I'm singing at a church, like you say, somebody call you for the church, I'm there.
Right.
I ain't gonna act the same if I'm sitting with, if I'm at Tribe, or if I'm at whatever, it's gonna be a different version of me. It's not gonna be, you definitely gonna get some different behavior, but it's all still a part of the heart and the personality. You feel me? So I think that's what makes us so unique, that we always remain who we are, no matter what setting we're in. And I think that's what make people. Man.
And I think in order...
Love her.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you out.
No.
I think in order to remain who you are, you have to accept those different elements of you. You have to accept those different parts of you. Like, this is who I am. This is me. This is me. And this is me. And this is me. You know what I mean? This is me in this setting. This is me in this setting. Because settings change. So you have to be able to adjust. You have to simply adjust. You know what I mean? And that's a part of who you are. How well can you adjust? All of it is who you are. So,
we'll catch y'all next time, man. Y'all know we go on and on, man. But
right, my bad.
we love you. I love you. And I gotta say that on camera, you know.
Sure.
Ain't no shame in my game. It is what it is. But you know, this is not the last you're gonna see of us too, of course.
You already know.
Of course, catch us in the stratosphere of all things success when it comes to the music and the podcast. This is what we talk about. This is what we manifest. Mm-hmm. Shout out to 290 Mo Podcast once again on Inside the Chess Podcast. See y'all.
Peace.